What's up, guys? First things first, I want to shout out a very cool product that might be helpful for anyone who's running around making videos. It is a twin mic and receiver set for USB-C for your phone. Now, this was $35 in a great big charging case. Plug your USB-C in there. The two mics charge and the receiver is powered by the phone or camera when you've got it plugged in. See a lot of people with those really expensive Rode mics. You can buy 20 of these for the cost of one of those Rode sets. So you don't need to care about them so much. Just 3-pin charge down the bottom there, like headphones and things like that. I'll link them in the video description. Yeah, I got them off eBay. They cost nothing. 35 bucks is nothing. Let's talk about Jumpstarters. Now, there's two reasons I want to talk about Jumpstarters. I've got this iTech World, which is my newest jump starter. I bought this with my own money. I have no affiliation with iTech. I actually had them call me doing some marketing research for something I added to a cart on their shop at some stage, which is a 24-volt lithium battery. And I said to them, hey, I make content. Hey, it'd be cool to make some content together with some of your smaller peripherals and power banks and solar generators, and they weren't interested. So I guess they didn't want the exposure. There's a few things about this that are good. There's a few things that aren't as good. One thing you'll notice there with it turned on is it says 16 volts, and it is. This will actually kick out 16 volts to get your vehicle running. It will actually start to charge your your vehicle's flat battery, which is quite good. Pretty happy with the way that works. The wireless charger doesn't work on fast wireless charging on either of my Samsung Galaxy S20, S22 Ultra, or Samsung Galaxy S8, or my wife's S21 FE. So I don't know why the wireless fast charge doesn't work. It's claimed as being a wireless fast charge. It's a bit of a shame that the input USB-C isn't an in and out USB-C. A lot of the other power banks and things like that I've got are in and out USB-C, because I normally run USB-C to C cables. And you only have one fast charge, so they're split up, those two outputs. The torch is pretty good when you can get it to work. The button can be fiddly. Yeah, it's nice. The construction's beautiful. Definitely good. That's obviously a LiPo one. And look, I've done quite a few jump starts, mainly my forklift. My forklift's got a sad charging system, and I don't use it very often, like most people with their little forks. So comes in handy kicking that over. What else have I started with it? I started the Mitsubishi Triton with it. I've started the Volkswagen Touareg diesel with it. And it had no drama starting any of them. Oh, Ford Territory. Just whenever I don't drive a car for a long period of time, it definitely pulls me out of the crap and gets things going. I tried to use this and this Lucky Thor together to jumpstart my 24-volt truck. I just had them on independent batteries. The batteries are on the opposite side to the key. When a battery is really flat and it has a high internal resistance, this 16-volt charge will go into the battery. The battery will come up and get to 14.2 volts or whatever really quickly, because it's not actually absorbing anything yet, because it's been left dead flat. So it's not actually taking that charge on. It takes a while to get that charge to start actually sinking into the battery. Because of that, this one's little smart dongle will kick out, and this one's useless to you, whereas that one will hold that other battery up, and you can crank and crank and crank with the second battery. So if you had two of the Lucky Thor, you could definitely jumpstart a 24-volt system with two of them. You just put them on independent batteries. And if you had a buddy with you who could press the button while you're cranking, you could definitely use two different jump starters on two different batteries to get a 24-volt light truck going. This is only a 4-litre diesel. It's my Hino. So, good. I bought it when they were on special. They were way too expensive when they're not on special. I think they're $350 not on special. I got it for 175. I wouldn't buy anything from iTech World unless it was on special. Seems to be working fine. I haven't used the 12-volt output yet. It only holds 74 watt hours. The peak current of 2000 cold cranking amps, I don't believe. There's no way known anything can have 2000 amps go through one of these plugs. They all claim stuff like that. It's just an industry standard thing. Speaking of industry standards, we'll talk about Locky Thor in a minute. But where we've come from to get to something like this iTech World. So this would only be about 5 years old, this one. This is a SJS Smart Charge 12 volt. So it's a 16,000 milliamp hour, which is smaller than the iTech. The iTech's a 20,000 milliamp hour. It says peak current of 600 amps, 3 seconds. So that's a bit more realistic. Start current, 300 amps. So these only offer you a peak current on the back of the unit. On their website, there was a different measurement for something, which was lower. The output voltage, 12 volts. So your current can be higher when you've only got 12 volts and you're not going to get any more go out of it. It's like it's not going to start any easier. Having that 16-volt battery makes them whiz over, which is smart, but they do have to have some smart safety features in the unit to be able to do that safely. So I think these were like $350 from Autobarn. I've got another dead one, which we're going to pull apart another day, which is newer than this one, which I bought another one of the same brand. Yeah, I don't know why. I'd never buy one of these again. I haven't seen a good example of one that works well. If you're going to buy one that's from a shop locally, and you can't get something like the iTech, there's a Matson one, M-A-T-S-O-N. It's blue and red. My mate's got one, and a business owner I know has got one who deals with a lot of cars, starting them and moving them all the time, and they never get a chance to charge up. That's also ultra safe, so you need to press the button and then go and start something straight away. But they seem to be a lot more quality. If you're going to go buy something off the shelf from your super cheap autos or your Autobarns or those kinds of places, because generally if something's gone wrong, you're in a pinch, you need to go and get one. You don't generally buy one like I did and pre-plan to use it. So this SJS has a terrible case. The shell is poor quality. There's a red light on that side for flashing to set it up on the side of the road and flash people down or whatever, I don't know. So it appears, yeah, so you've got direct connection from the LiPo to the charge outlet. And this one had a smart clip set that plugged into there, which wouldn't allow power to come back to the battery from the thing. So it must have a couple of diodes or at least like a dropping circuit breaker relay inside there. It did have a light. The light was a terrible little chip on board. It did have USB outlet. The thing that I'd say that you should run for the hills with any of these that aren't USB-C charged now. This one was a 15-volt 1 amp input and the pin poked through. That was the main reason I stopped using it. I dropped it, the case was split, and the pin in the charge port poked through. And then when the case split, the on-off switch outer slide fell off. Just crap construction, basically. I don't want to harp on about the crap construction. I know I probably sound like a whinge about everything when we're pulling gear apart. But this is just a 4S LiPo. 3S, 4S. Let's get it out. Got it. So there's nothing special on that board. That board's not like conformally coated or nothing. So, you know, bit of rain gets in that open USB port or something. Because let's face it, you're jump starting the car in bad situations. You never it's never a beautiful sunny day and you've just had a little issue, you're going to be in the rain or something crappy. That's like just poor form. You can see the corrosion on the board. And to my memory, I never got this wet. So what do we got? 3S. 3 fat lipos. Don't get me wrong, there's some pretty beefy little lipos. You see them in there? They're not swollen or anything. I'd believe they would be dead. There is a BMS up top. So we might cut them out of there and see if we can see what they are. At some stage, I'll do that when I pull the other SJS Jumpstarter pack apart, because it is swelling. It's swelling and it's no good. So 3S, the best you're going to get is 12.6 volts at full charge. Yes, you'll have heaps of grunt between 12 and 11 volts, and I agree. Starting a car, you know, your starter's probably really only running on 8 volts. If you put a probe down there, I'd imagine even with an alright battery, just because the cable runs and the amount of sheer grunt it takes to start something, especially like a diesel. This will also not be as effective as something like the iTech, just because that's 16 volt, which is 4 in series, which will allow it to really punch out some short-term power to, you know, get your glow plugs going and get your lift pumps going, all those kinds of things, and all the solenoids and stuff that are on modern diesels and things like that all need to move and actuate. You know, if you're struggling at 11 volts, all that stuff moves a little bit slower. The car's going to turn over a little bit slower. The currents are higher. It's when you start melting things. Speaking of melting things, this is the Locky Thor. We made quite a few cool videos about this when we first got it. It's the JA301. Same thing, it's only 20,000 milliamp hours. In this end, there's an air compressor. The LiPo sits here somewhere. Not much different to the size of this one. We have had it open. There is another video about this thing. I had to make new leads for this thing, and I cut the plug. So you see how much bigger the plug is? Look at that. See the difference? Look at that. This claims to be a 2000 amp jump start. What's it claim actually? It says 1000 amp starting current, peak current of 2000 amps. Now, this was still cheaper than what that iTech World is. I've used this hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times for things. I've used it as a power bank. I've used it as a light. The light has failed. I do have to say that. The light has failed. It won't work. I've used it to pump up heaps of tires. We used it to pump up tires for videos. We got all the way to the 150 PSI in my rechargeable fire extinguisher. It does everything it says it does, and it's got that much grunt in that little LiPo that it melted the original leads, and I had to make new leads. I had to cut that old plug off, and I had to get some more heavy-duty leads. I made them a little bit longer than what they were originally. This does all the smart part of the jump starting that all these other ones do externally. It does it in here. So much smarter. I really rate this unit. They sent this to me for free. I never got any kickback out of it or anything. Like, it was just, I got a free unit to make a video about, which is cool. But if I had to go and buy one, I'd probably still buy this. They even made one for a while. I haven't found one that I can get shipped to Australia, because I wanted to for a video just as a follow-up on this product. It had a pressure cleaner in it. So it was about triple the size. It had a built-in pressure cleaner like the Ryobi and Works, and I think DeWalt even make one now. They're just a flow-through pressure washer. And they're just a pump, and it was just there for washing down like your ATVs and your dirt bikes and your mountain bikes and stuff in their actual advertising material. But I just thought that was really cool, and yeah, they were cool. They sent this to me. It probably cost them just as much in freight as it did for the unit, because it did come from America, I believe. This one's great. USB-C fast charge in, so it's 18-watt charge, just like the iTech is. You can charge it with non-QC as well. Obviously, it's going to be slower, but you can. Anything like this, SJS, there's other brands out there that are similar that require a standalone specialty charger, are not something that you want. They don't have your best interests and usability at heart. We've all got USB-C phone cords. Even if you're an iPhone user, you're going to have them soon. Or at least your power bricks have USB-C in the power brick anyway. So if you use a C-to-C cord, happy days, you've got a fast charger. I actually use iPad and iMac chargers that I get in my e-waste, the big brick ones. I actually use them because they've got 1 or 2 USB-C cords in them. I chuck them on power boards up on the workbench up there. I use them till they die, and then I throw them back in my e-waste. So USB-C is a great charging standard. It should be implemented on everything that's portable nowadays, like those kinds of things. I can't understand why things like this Milwaukee is still micro. Micro is definitely not as good of a charging standard. It's good, but it's not as good as C. And I can't wait to see some of the things they'll do with higher voltages and higher amperages. I've seen things of USB-C that are getting up towards the 100-watt mark, 100-watt charging. So the sky's the limit. 100-watt charging is amazing. I've seen them run laptops and things like that off it. So yeah, this thing worked great. It's flat there now, as you can see. Needs to go on the charger. But Jumpstarters, I just can't recommend enough that you do your research. iTech World's got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of reviews from boomers that have used it once on a very mildly flat vehicle. No explanation. They got it to start something that was, just cranking slow even. I don't see that as a full test. You want something that's like flat. But it's worked for them. It's easy enough for someone to work out and use. You don't need to be tech savvy to use it. And worst case scenario, it's a decent sized power bank, quick to charge. The wireless charger does work. I think wireless charging is stupid. There's only a few reasons that you'd use it. If you were sitting at a desk all day, rather than wearing your charge port out, plugging something in and out all day. Or if you're same thing in your car. Like Tesla Model Y that I had for a long weekend had wireless charging ports, wireless charging things under the center console. They cook your phone. It gets that hot. Yeah, I don't know. Wireless charging is not the smartest thing. It sounds like the be-all and end-all, but a good connector that's going to last years and can transfer power fast, definitely my cup of tea. Thanks for watching my bit of a video on Jumpstarters. If you want any information on any of them, sing out. There is a bigger iTech World, so what's that? That's the iTech 2000. There's a JA80, which is a much bigger one, but they're getting expensive. The best jump starter I've ever used, I've made a video about on this channel. It was a Projector 1500A Smart Start, and it's made to self-charge off the vehicle that you just jump started it on. And they've got huge leads, like big cables, big terminals. They will crank until you smoke the terminals off the car. So if you want a seriously heavy duty one, my mate's a tow truck operator, he's got one, he loves it. That's where you go, but they're $700. So, if you want to stay under $250, there's stuff like this. Buy stuff from iTech when it's on special, or find a discount code from somebody. Search iTech, search for YouTube videos, and find a discount code from someone who's just doing a shill video for iTech World, and you'll be able to grab hold of a discount code that might save you a few bucks. So Use that, use honey. You'll get a discount. Use my discount for Max Peating Rods. OUTSC, One Up the Sleeve Customs, where you'll find sick things like this awesome polished aluminium tank, which is going to be my header tank delete for my XR6 Turbo. Get you a discount, gives me a kickback. Have a great night. Catch us on the next one.